Revenge films.
My name is Mark, and I'm 26 years old. I got married to my high school sweetheart Rachel 2 years ago. Rachel and I got along great, and we were happily married. Rachel was a positive person and always smiling. One of the things that I loved about her. I talked about Rachel to my colleagues at work, and they told me that they were envious of our marriage. Rachel, I'm home!
You're later than I expected. Did work keep you busy? I missed you.
I missed you too, honey. What's for dinner?
I tried to make fried chicken, but it was a big failure. So I picked up some food from the convenience store across the street. I'll eat all the chicken that I burnt, and you eat the ones from the convenience store.
Let's share. I want to try your chicken too.
Thank you. That's sweet of you.
Rachel had quite a few failures in the kitchen, but I didn't mind. At least she made the effort. One evening, I brought over some colleagues to our apartment after a client dinner. I'm home. My manager is here with me. We're going to have some drinks here.
Nice to meet you. Please, come in.
Thank you for having me. Sorry to show up unannounced like this late at night. Make yourself at home.
The living room is this way.
My manager seemed to like Rachel. I was glad that she made a good impression on him. At the client dinner, I was careful not to get too drunk, but now that I was home, I felt relaxed and became sleepy after a few drinks. Before I knew it, I had passed out. I woke up in the middle of the night because I needed to use the bathroom. Rachel and my manager were nowhere to be seen. I decided to sleep in my own bed after I used the bathroom. But when I got to the door of my bedroom, I could hear the voices of Rachel and my manager from inside. From what I was hearing, they were going at it in my bedroom. I opened the door quietly to find Rachel and my manager hugging each other naked. What's going on here?
Mark, awake.
Get away from my wife! Mark, don't be so angry. This is just a one-time thing. It didn't mean anything. My manager got changed and patted me on the shoulder before leaving my apartment. I had no idea why this was happening to me. I sat down with Rachel in the kitchen, and we had a talk. She wasn't being very helpful because all she did was apologize to me. After what I had witnessed, it was impossible for me to stay married to Rachel, so I divorced her. Rachel quite willingly moved out of our apartment, which made me question whether she ever loved me. I felt uncomfortable working for my manager, so I resigned and got a new job elsewhere. I hired myself a lawyer and sued Rachel and my former manager for what they had done to me. I then received a phone call from my manager. What do you want? I'm calling to let you know that I agreed to pay you the money that you asked for. Although I must say that you're asking for a lot considering that I only slept with your wife once. You bastard! I'm also calling with a proposal. Would you be willing to introduce me to a couple more young women? Preferably someone younger than Rachel. Why in the world would I do such a thing? You're a lunatic! I hung up the phone and blocked his number. I never wanted to speak to him again. Apart from work, I pretty much kept to myself. I had become depressed after what Rachel and my former manager did to me. I knew that I needed to get over it and start my life again. I didn't want to give them the satisfaction of ruining me like this. I decided that I would start my own company. It would be good for me to stay busy. A year had passed since my divorce, and my new business was off to a good start. I was starting to feel alive again. I was at the hairdresser one day when I met someone. Could you please cut my hair a little shorter?
Yes, of course. Ouch!
Are you alright?
Sarah, did you cut yourself again? Why does this keep happening to you? Go wash off the blood.
I hope that the cut isn't too deep. It looks painful.
I'll be all right. Thank you.
There's some blood on your top. Please, allow us to pay for your cleaning bill. We're so sorry about this.
I'm very sorry for ruining your top.
It's fine. I don't need to take this to the cleaners. I can wash it at home.
Sarah, you're so clumsy.
Look, you don't need to scold her. It makes me uncomfortable when you shout at her like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to raise my voice.
Sarah asked me if she wanted another hairdresser to continue cutting my hair, but I told her that she could continue cutting it. Sarah wasn't very talkative, and neither was I, so she continued to cut my hair in silence. But near the end, we began to get to know each other a bit. Sarah asked me if she could make it up to me for dirtying my top, so I gave her my phone number, and she did the same. We began to casually date after that, and things soon became serious for us. I told her about my ex-wife Rachel, and how much she had hurt me. Sarah told me that her father had many mistresses, and that he was never faithful to her mother, which hurt her too. Because of our past experiences, we both had trouble trusting others. 2 years after we started dating, we got married. Sarah's father didn't attend our wedding. In fact, Sarah was out of touch with him for some time now. Partially due to this, we had a small wedding with close family and friends. After we were married, Sarah helped me grow my business. We were busy with work, but we also made a good living. One day I was out for a walk in the neighborhood when I happened to see Rachel and my former manager. It seemed that Rachel was pregnant with their child. They saw me and came up to me.
Hi, Mark. How have you been? We got married after you and I broke up.
I love Rachel. She's not very smart, but she's young and sexy. How can you say that about Rachel when she's standing right next to you? How have you been, Mark? What do you do for work? I hope that you're not homeless or anything. You're not very talented, so...
Don't make fun of Mark.
I hated them both. They had destroyed me, yet they were both acting so cavalier about it. I decided to say something to my former manager to make him feel bad. Actually, I met someone, and we got married. I've never been happier. I'd love to meet her. I'm sure that she's not very bright. I then told him about who I had married. In fact, I married your daughter. Sarah then came over with impeccable timing and glared at her father.
What are you doing here, Dad? I hope that you're not harassing my husband, Mark.
Sarah's father seemed shocked to see her.
I'm Mark's ex-wife, by the way. What a small world. Maybe we could be friends?
I can't believe that you can't stay married to one woman. How many affairs do you need to have? You make me sick. You're 50 and about to have another child. How irresponsible of you.
It's nice to see you, Sarah. After all this time, how have you been?
I never want to see you again. I must have bad luck running into you like this. I think that you owe Mark an apologizing for stealing Rachel from him.
It wasn't my fault. Rachel was the one that seduced me.
Wow, you're unbelievable. Blaming your poor life choices on others. I'm going to talk to Grandfather about what you did.
There's no need for you to tell him. It will only upset him.
By the way, Mark is not homeless. He has his own company that he's doing much better than you. I won't allow you to disrespect him anymore.
I had no idea, Mark. I'm happy for you and Sarah.
Mark is meeting my grandfather for the first time tomorrow. I'm telling him everything, and you can't stop me.
Sarah's grandfather was the CEO of the company that my manager worked for. Once Sarah told her grandfather about the many affairs that her father had in the past, he was furious with his son. Sarah's father was fired from his job, and his younger brother was hired to take his place. Sarah's father didn't have any money saved up because he was a big spender. His money was very tight after he lost his job. He no longer had the means to take care of Rachel and their unborn child, which resulted in another divorce. Rachel came to me crying, asking me if I would consider taking her back. The answer was obvious. I wanted nothing to do with her. Rachel had no choice but to raise her baby as a single mother. Sarah's father couldn't afford to pay Rachel any child support, so she found herself a job and worked long hours. And in her spare time, she had to take care of her baby. Rachel was exhausted from being overworked, and she became depressed. Sarah became pregnant after a year of being married, and we were overjoyed when our baby was born. I had a bad experience with my first wife, but now that I was married to Sarah, I couldn't ask for a better life. I was the happiest man alive.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.